Grandma and the aunts and uncles rocked back and forth in the long swings which hung from the roof of the big porch. The three cousins, who were happy to be together for a week of fun at Grandma's, continued their game of hide and seek in the bushes, but they didn't venture too far. They kept hoping that Grandma and their aunts and uncles would start talking about all their other relatives. Eventually, they knew that Grandma would ask one of them to go in the house for the big family Bible. Often, families would use a Bible to record important things in the family, like who married whom, who moved where, who was born when somebody died, and baptisms. It's kind of like the family book of records. There was one story the cousins were waiting for, the one about the stowaway. Oh, they knew the story word for word, but listening never made them tired. It was a story about their great-great-grandma. It began longer ago than they could imagine, halfway around the world to another continent. Every time they dared to hope that Grandma would resurrect one more detail from her memory, or uncover some hidden fact never before discovered in the family's book of records. The problem was that Grandma had pretty much remembered all that she could, even with the help of the old Bible, into which her mother had written many interesting things about their family history. For the cousins, the story would just start getting interesting when Grandma forgot, or Great-Grandma had recorded no more details. Later, the three cousins would lie awake late into the night, talking in whispers as they stretched out beside each other, with one of Grandma's quilts pulled up tight under their chins. The part about the story of their relatives that kept them awake was the part about Hannah. Poor Hannah. First off, she had 3 brothers. That made her the only girl, right? One was named John, the other James, and oh, too bad Great-Grandma forgot to write the name of the other one. Or maybe she left his name out on purpose. Never mind. Just being the only girl must have been bad enough. Worst of all, their parents died when they were very young, and Hannah and her brothers had to go live with their uncle, who was very rich. Now, living with a rich uncle might sound nice. You think you could spend all the money you want, but the cousins thought probably the rich uncle really didn't want 4 other children all of a sudden. But there they were, living with their uncle. And, there was one piece of the story which they knew for sure. Hannah was not happy, so she decided to run away. Each of the cousins remembered out loud the times when they had been angry or thought about running away. Of course, they never had gone very far. Usually they started thinking about where they would sleep, what they would eat if they really left home. Of course, Hannah's situation was a little bit different. She was a young woman now, and she was ready to begin supporting herself. So when she decided to leave her uncle's home, she decided to really leave. Afraid that her uncle or her brothers would try to stop her, she slipped away after dark. As she made her way from their home in Devonshire to the English coast, her mind was racing, and her heart burned a desire to go to America and begin a new life. But how could she? Then she got her chance. The cousins were wide-eyed just thinking about it. Carefully slipping through the darkness, Hannah crawled up the gangplank and hid herself in the hold of a big ship, reported to be leaving for America the next day. She must have been very good at hiding because no one found her until it was too late to sail back. She was the cousin's great-great-grandmother, who eventually married and had 5 children. Their grandpa had been born into this family down the line, and that was all they knew. The cousins would wiggle their sheets and blankets into a tangle and with questions about her, but finally they would settle down and go to sleep, for it did no good to come up with more questions because no one had the answers anyways. Have you ever asked your mom or dad or your grandpa or grandma and aunts and uncles about your family history? Maybe you have an old Bible in your family where some of the names of your relatives have been written down. It can be very interesting to find out who you are and where you came from. Sometimes the stories we learn about our relatives make us proud. Other times they make us embarrassed. But every family has those kinds of stories in their past. The good news is we're all related through one relative who is the best in all the world. He never did anything wrong to make us ashamed. He will never do anything wrong to hurt us. He just loves us. And he wants to put his love into our hearts so we can love each other and our families here at church just like he loves us. That relative is, can we all say it together? Jesus. Did you know that when Jesus came to earth as a baby, God made him our brother? Well, he did. And that makes God our Father. And we're all his children. Aren't you glad that we have God the Father and Jesus his Son in our family history? Amen. You can go back to your seats now, children. Thank you for listening.